What's up, folks? Welcome to the Fusion Gaming Network. This is Fearless Zombie here, and I want to welcome you to the channel. If this is your first time here and you like the content you see, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button below. Don't forget to hit the bell to turn on notifications, and let's get right into it. Guys, today I'm really excited to present to you some of the upcoming features for the new version. That's right, the new version of PUBG Mobile that's going to be coming to you all with Season 12 update. This is very exclusive content. Nobody on the internet has pushed this content just yet, and you guys are going to be the first to see it. And what this means is that once Season 12 launches, you are going to have an edge on the competition because you know what's coming before they do. You've had a chance to kind of, strategize around it a little bit and get your head around it. And so let's go. Here's what we've got. Guys, I want to go ahead and just start off by going through the release notes and just give you kind of a heads up about, what some of the features are that's going to be coming. Just a little bit of a disclaimer here. A lot of this data is coming from the current beta, and some of what's in the beta may or may not make it to the end release. Usually the majority of it does. So, just, know that things are subject to change. So just keep that in mind, although the majority of these features usually do come to the final release. So there's really not too much concern. Just kind of take it with a grain of salt, though, just in case. So anyway, having said that, let's take a look at some of the features that are coming. And boy, is it exciting. Okay, so first of all, we have a brand new amusement park mode in the game. And this is going to be very similar to what we've seen in the past with the Halloween modes, with the winter modes. This is basically with the day-night modes. This is a random mode that happens on Erangel only. If you get this mode, there are random spawn points where there are going to be these amusement park items, such as these old school video games and rides that you can go on. Now, I don't totally understand why they put these old school video games in. You'll see in just a minute, from some of the feature demo content that we're going to be showing you guys, that you can play the video games on Spawn Island, but why would you want to play a video game when there's people shooting all around you on the map? It doesn't make sense to me. You're going to get killed. Maybe they're going to put some incentive, like you get, some kind of airdrop, loot crate type item for playing the game or something of that nature. But as of right now, I'm not a big fan of the video game aspect of this. Now, the rides are super cool. So there's like a reverse bungee slingshot type thing that's supposed to throw you up in the air, and then your parachute's going to come down. And this seems very similar to kind of what they're doing in Call of Duty right now with, one of the player types can kind of create a launch pad to shoot you up in the air, and then you get a good view of kind of what's around you, and you can parachute down. So this part of it's pretty cool. We'll have to see kind of how this plays out, a little bit. Some pros and cons here. Not everything's going to be great, but it's still, it's still a lot of fun to kind of experiment with these new features. Moving forward, there's some new independent teammate volume control. Nice little feature here. Sometimes you get that one teammate whose volume is just way too loud, or you can hardly hear him, and rather than having to tell him to adjust his sensitivities, you now can just kind of adjust it individually on your end. Great update. I'm a big fan of that. And there are now universal marks on the map, which are some new features for helping you inform your teammates of, where there are certain weapons or enemies or whatever it is, tactical strategies you want to kind of mark on the map for them. So that's great. I like that a lot too. Instant death replay. I am super excited about this. Now, I played the beta many times, and unfortunately in the beta, I did not actually get to see what this looked like. So I'm hoping that, Tencent is going to go and do a really good job of actually implementing this in the end product. But I love the idea of just being able to see some of these, hilarious moments, or, just kind of analyze strategically what went wrong, what cost you the chicken dinner. Instant replay, I think, is something that's been a long time overdue, so I'm just super, super looking forward to that one. Now, let's talk about Evo Ground, because there is a major, major new addition, a new mode called the Winter Mode to Evo Ground. And what this is basically, it's going to be Vikendi. It's played just like a classic match on Vikendi, but there are now blizzards. And there's basically a countdown timer. Very, very similar to if you guys ever played the zombie mode, how there's nighttime and there's a countdown until night. There's now going to be a countdown until the blizzard. And when the blizzard comes, you got to get indoors, you got to make a fire, you got to stay warm. Otherwise, if you get too cold, you're going to lose health, you're going to die. This is pretty well implemented in the beta. You're going to see in just a minute how this plays out. There's definitely a lot to it. I personally kind of have mixed emotions about some of the features. We'll see how it actually, works out in the end. But basically you got to get branches to make a fire, or heat lamps. There are, there are heat pads as well. You got to kill chickens and eat chickens in order to stay warm in the wintertime. So, there's a little bit of a, kind of some silly aspect to it as well. But, anytime they add these, Evo Ground modes, I feel like they're, for a couple weeks, everybody's playing them, and, because it's fun and new and different, and then everybody kind of moves on and, kind of goes back to classics. So, we'll see how this one, stands the test of time, just like everything, that we've had in Evo Ground previously. But definitely there's a lot there, and you're going to see in just a minute, a lot of examples of how that all works. One other thing they have in that Evo Ground mode are drones, actually, which is pretty cool, that you can actually kind of get a different perspective on the map and kind of who's around you and what's nearby. So that piece is pretty cool. I like that one a lot. Firearm balancing, they do this every time there's a new update. They always tell us about a couple of the buffs and the nerfs, but then there's also a couple that happen behind the scenes that we don't really find out about until it's done. This time they've announced publicly that they have buffed the MK47 damage, which is nice to see. However, they have nerfed the M16 in terms of the time it takes to fire multiple burst rounds. So, we'll go ahead and take a look at that and see how that affects overall gameplay. And, the only other thing that is really called out specifically in the release notes is a Brothers in Arms function. And this is a new feature that will allow veteran players to volunteer to play with hard it was newer for me to get players, this mode to trigger, buddy? Or newer players to request to be kind of mentored by more experienced players, and I guess in exchange for the more experienced players offering, this assistance to the newer players, there's going to be some kind of in-game reward system. We'll see how this plays out. Potentially a cool feature, but we have to see how it's actually implemented in the end. And there are, literally dozens of other features that are in this release that are just not called out in the release notes.
So here it looks like there is a new option in the settings to go ahead and change the way that the bomb zones and the regular play zone are displayed. I'm not sure exactly what that language is around the setting, but you can see there are some additional options there. Nothing else much really in the settings that's new or different.
that's a bug. Cannot get out of this, despite on the airplane also. Hey, PUBG, more bugs. Sounds like we've jumped. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to restart.
So here you can see that day-night mode is back on Erangel once again. We had this previously, lost it a few updates ago, and, for better or worse, it is back. So in just a moment here, I'm going to pick up an M16 and show you how they nerfed the fire rate. So here you can see that they've changed some of the vehicle skins. In this case, this is the updated UAZ, and I don't have any kind of fancy skin for this thing. This is just the regular default for the soft top. And, I don't really know what to make of it. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these new skins. Here I unexpectedly stumble into a piece of birthday cake I can eat, and no weapons or anything special came out of it. So I don't know if they're trying to redo what they did for the first anniversary or if this is something different altogether. But I was just kind of surprised to see it.
Form up on me. Search for vehicles. I got supplies.
What is this? DBS. What? Whoa. Interesting. Comes out of an airdrop. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new winter mode now. So if you pay close attention to the drop, there seem to be some changes that were not announced to the actual dive mechanics, so to speak, as well as the animations. I'm not really sure how I feel about this. We'll see whether or not it actually makes it to the final version. And also, though, when you land, pay close attention to the animation. I'm actually going to flip forward and roll.
safe zone. Enemies ahead. You're being attacked.
What?
Let's try that again. Hopefully my teammate doesn't kill me this time. Uzi's got a red dot. Here, chickie, chickie, chickie. Here, chickie, chickie. Peter's gonna love this.
The blizzard will arrive in 60 seconds. Please enter a building and light a fire to stay warm. The blizzard has arrived. Please enter a building as soon as possible and light a fire to stay warm. The blizzard has passed. Will arrive in 60 seconds. Please enter a building and light a fire to stay warm. The blizzard has arrived. Please enter a building as soon as possible and light a fire to stay warm. The blizzard has passed.
So that's pretty much it, guys. We'll close this out with just a quick screenshot of the new Brothers in Arms functionality description. Thank you so much for watching. Please do subscribe if this is your first time to the channel, and comment below. Let us know what you think about the new version. I'm really excited for some of this stuff. Can't wait to see how it's ultimately implemented. See you next time.